Absolutely.
So I just went ahead and started recording so that since we're posting these online. So Don, whenever you want to get started, we are good to go.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, yeah, that's right. I forgot that I was kind of the fearless leader the last time. Well, I guess we will call this meeting to order. It's 4:05, so we will do that. I guess the first thing to do, I suppose I'll defer to you, Megan, is what is our order of business today? Because I don't have my agenda in front of me at the moment.
We can do the confirmation of a quorum and confirm that there was proper notice of the meeting. So that was done. We don't have anything executive session either. So we're okay to do a call to order and then an election of officers.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
well, I guess we will call this meeting.
So let me jump in. In terms of election of officers, I would recommend, just the president and secretary. Most bond documents, if we have a bond closing that you guys need to sign, we'll need a president and a secretary.
All right.
Oh, okay. So well, very good. Well, we do have a quorum, Stacy, because we have 2 out of 3 of us here, and that does constitute a quorum. So now the fun part comes, we kind of need to elect officers for that, right? Or do we need to swear Stacy in?
I thought we swore you in last year, Stacy.
So there was one meeting, but I wasn't able to attend. So
you were correct.
Yeah. So that I think that's the last meeting. There was a March meeting I was in. I was still teaching, I think, at that point.
Gotcha. Then we don't have that on here, but we should. And Jennifer's trying to get in, but hers isn't working. So usually we just do a confirmation of a new member. So let me see if I can find. We'll send over the oath of office for you, Stacy. I thought we did that.
I feel like I filled something out last year from Kay. I think it was Kay that something over, and I submitted that. I just didn't attend the meeting last March.
Right. Okay.
And that could have been something that could have happened in the background. I believe I was there at the last meeting when we did it. Again, that's kind of tough when you're talking about looking at something that was, almost a year or so ago.
Yes.
But I do remember Stacy couldn't make it. So I'm assuming that Kay did the voodoo that she does so well, and she sent things on and took care of that and got it to Stacy.
Yes, I agree. I just want to make sure for the minutes, if we add something in there, that we have the right language. So let's, actually, Lawrence, have you heard anything from Annalise or Rick either? Jennifer's saying that she can't get in.
I know Annalise is on vacation.
Oh, that's right.
I haven't heard from Rick for a while.
Were either of them planning on joining today?
I don't believe Annalise was. I'm not sure about Rick.
Okay. I think we're okay since it's just our project agreements. Okay. So let's just maybe we in the consent.
Assuming that we're okay with the oath of office and the swearing in of Stacy, that's fine. So I guess now the question then becomes we have to elect officers. Is that right?
Yes. So sounds like Lawrence would like a president and a secretary.
Okay. So Stacy, we can do paper, rock, scissors for this if you'd like.
I might recommend that Don would be the president again, and Lawrence Stacy would be the secretary. Just since Don, you've been the president, and Stacy is new to the EDC.
Well, Stacy, if you're okay with that, I don't mind, but I don't want to assume anything here.
I am perfectly okay with that. I just would want to know what you need as far as the secretary, but I think that makes perfect sense from my perspective.
Okay, very good. Well, okay, so it sounds like we just have simply by affirmation, then we have a slate of officers. We have Don Phelan as president, and then we have Stacy. And Stacy, help me remember your last name again. It's
McCreary. It's McCreary.
McCreary. Okay, McCreery, right?
That's correct.
Okay, good. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
Let's see. Okay, as the secretary of the commission, so all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Aye. Okay, so we now have our slate of officers. We are in good shape for that as far as that's concerned. So, okay, so I guess that now brings us to, I guess, new business. Is that correct, Megan?
We have the consent of the previous meeting minutes from March of 2020, which is crazy.
I know. So, and again, I apologize. And Stacy, I don't know if you had a chance to review those or not. It was quite a while ago. It was probably not at the top of your list in terms of reading material, is my guess.
Yeah, I did review them, but it was some time ago for sure.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess what I need is a motion to approve the minutes and see where we are.
A motion to approve?
Okay, good. So all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
So we have now approved the minutes of that particular meeting. Okay. Now, Megan, are we good for new business?
Yes. We will move on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Again, I want to apologize. I mean, I think we're all a little rusty from this for many understandable reasons, and forgive me if it seems a little haphazard.
No, you're totally fine. So the first project agreement tonight is the Mapledale project agreement. The Mapledale development is just on the west side of the Chatham Tap and Pier Eatery development along 116th Street. And as kind of a reminder and some background for you, Stacy, the city entered into a land acquisition agreement for those properties a couple of years ago with Hageman Group, where we said, okay, we know we want a development to go here. We don't know what that is yet. Instead of forcing somebody's hand to put something together before we were ready, we entered into the land acquisition agreement so that everybody would have some additional time to review and put together a thoughtful development. So we went through a selection process with J.C. Hart and Hageman Group, who ultimately won kind of the project. So they're proposing 190 multifamily units along 116th Street. All of those homes are demoed now. And the great part about this project is it's really an integrated neighborhood within the Nickel Plate district. So they think that in the design and architecture that they've put together is it fits well with the Nickel Plate district. It's a great transition point right next to Charleston Crossing. They've been working really, really closely with the Charleston Crossing neighborhood throughout this whole process. So they have requested a developer-backed bond. So it's 100% TIF capture from that. Plus then they are also providing, I'm now having to go back through this. I think we are waiving the sewer impact fees for this project. So they're anticipating breaking ground in May, most likely. And there'll be probably an 18-month construction time frame. So I'm happy to answer any questions about this project.
Okay, and just for clarification, this multifamily, are these condos or are these apartments?
These are apartments, so they're for lease apartments.
Okay.
So this first went to City Council in October and has gone through City Council, Redevelopment Commission, and now for you all at the Economic Development Commission.
Okay. I know we've had this question in the past, and I will just bring it up again for Stacy's edification here. I know we have done various studies and so forth about market demand for apartments in this area. Is that still is market demand for apartments still very strong in this area? And can you elaborate on that a little bit, Megan?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is still definitely very strong. All of the downtown or Nickel Plate District apartment projects are all at about 90 to 95% occupied. So there's extremely high demand. They've been able to increase some of their rent prices. And what we really focus on with this neighborhood or this development is that it did feel like more of its own neighborhood instead of a super urban feel. So again, it's no more than 3 stories, but there's also 3 different types of units within this development. So there's kind of your traditional 3-story apartment building, but then there's also townhomes that will be for rent and duplexes that will be for rent. So that's kind of the missing middle of housing studies of for rent, but more home-like units and developments. So we think that this is going to fill up quickly. There's been a lot of interest. So for sure, in terms of just pure demand and availability of housing stock, I believe the national average is 17 to 20% of the housing stock within a community is typically apartments or multifamily. And at last blush in Fishers, we were at about 9%. So we're definitely below the curve. The rental prices and the occupancy rates of those apartments also justify the need and the demand in the community for those.
Okay. Where are we with regard to, I mean, again, just not knowing, I mean, I've been a homeowner here, so I haven't really been shopping for apartments lately. Where are we in terms of these new places in terms of being handicapped accessible or dealing with those kinds of issues?
So all of our developments are required to meet ADA standards under our Unified Development Ordinance, our UDO, and kind of state code. So those are definitely being met. I don't know if they plan to have any enhanced like universal design standards where you know the units have wider doorways to accommodate wheelchairs, and so I'm not sure if they've designated a certain amount in there, but again the ADA standards are for sure adhered to.
Okay. Well, I was just checking. I didn't, about things like the wider doorways, or if someone was wheelchair bound, would they be, would they be off put from even looking at a place like this because it's a townhome or that type of thing?
I don't think so, especially with these duplexes. They'll have first floor living areas, so first floor masters with like a spare bedroom upstairs. And then with the apartments themselves, they have they'll have elevators and their own garages and access points that way.
Okay, good. Okay, great. All right. Well, I mean, that's good. That was just sort of answered my questions. When I think about things, I know there's a push in the city to also be a lot more sensitive to those kinds of issues, and that's why I bring it up.
Sure.
Okay, great. Okay, Stacy, do you have other questions about this at all? Or I'm sorry, maybe I should stop and say, Megan, I mean, maybe I just interrupted you. Can you continue, or what else can you tell us about this?
I'll let Stacy go ahead with her questions.
No, just a reminder of how many units per se are there, because you mentioned there's these first floor units and then they have the elevators, but how many total units are there?
It's 190 units total.
190 units, okay. I didn't have any other questions right now.
Okay, thanks, Stacy.
You're welcome.
Okay, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head other than, boy, if you were going to be working down the street at the First Internet Bank, you could really walk to work from those places.
Yeah, absolutely. That's our hope.
That's,
right? Okay.
just a comment, I guess. That's definitely needed. We see that with candidates where they're coming from Chicago, and I can't tell you, we lost a candidate for that reason. They were like, we want to walk to work. And so, although we gave them several options that were close to work, they like that feel. So I'm really excited about, the opportunity to have those things in place for folks that want those.
That's great feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, super. Okay, so with that, I guess, so what kind of action do we need to just simply, are we looking for a resolution to approve the
project
consent here?
It's a motion to approve the economic development agreement.
Okay. And then what is the number on this agreement?
I don't believe we had a resolution number. But if you just reference it as the Mapledale Economic Development Agreement,
that will suffice. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I guess having taken questions and gotten those answered and heard comments from the commission, I guess I'm looking for a motion to approve the Mapledale Economic Development project from a member of the commission.
Okay. Motion to approve the Maple Economic Development Commission to move forward.
Okay, great. Thank you, Stacy. I guess we'll signify by consent. Signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so the motion carries, and the commission has approved the go-ahead on the project.
Great.
Okay, the next item for new business, or is there any?
There's a first amendment to the SPF 15 project agreement, which is the First Internet Bank project agreement. I'm sorry. So back in 2019, we had the first, 2018, we had the first project agreement for the First Internet Bank project on the south side of 116th Street. I think we might have discussed it previously back in March, or maybe we probably haven't. The hotel project that was going alongside First Internet Bank right along the trail, as to be expected with COVID, that has all been postponed. So we did an amendment to their agreement in 2020, pushing their construction time and their deadlines and criteria that they have to meet back by 18 months. So this amendment to the SPF 15 project agreement pushes back their commitments for when they have to also complete construction, just since now there's been delays with construction because of COVID. But then additionally, with the hotel project, there were some public spaces that were going to be integrated with the nickel plate trail that's under construction. So there's just some additional considerations being included for the nickel plate trail and kind of the public area and stairs. So very straightforward project agreement, again, mostly just addressing the timing and the public spaces for the nickel plate trail. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, it's very understandable as to why, especially, the hospitality industry would want to delay that, and I totally get and understand that. I guess I had some confusion. Across the street from First Internet Bank, right by the old nickel plate restaurant, is that also not a hotel that's going in there?
No, that is CRG, their apartment project. So those are multifamily units. This project amendment, or the amendment, is for First Internet Bank, so their corporate headquarters project. So the 175,000 square foot corporate headquarters.
Right. I guess I just sort of had I think I had the hotel flipped on the other side of the street in my mind. So that's why I was just asking the question. So the hotel is literally adjacent to First Internet Bank, and it is on the south side of 116th Street then?
Correct.
Right along the trail?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, perfect. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Stacy, do you have any other questions?
No, I really didn't. I read through the document, the amendment, and I really didn't have any other questions. I mean, it's understandable with COVID and the, moving the timelines, and I think 18 months is very reasonable based on, the current assessment of where we're at and how long it's been since COVID started.
Okay. Is just from the point of view of being a good neighbor here, with the delay of this project, is that going to impact anything in terms of what's going on with First Internet Bank?
So this is the amendment for First Internet Bank's project. So this is for their own headquarters. So I didn't mean to. Yeah, no. The hotel was a separate amendment that didn't get approved by the Economic Development Commission. But I just say that I mentioned that as kind of the domino effect of having to extend their construction timeline and how it impacted this. So no concerns about delayed timing now from the hotel because of First Internet Bank being delayed and vice versa.
Right. Yeah, I just didn't know if it was impacting any elevations on one side of the building or not, or whatever the case may be. So that's why I was asking the question. Okay, good. Thank you. I don't know. I guess I don't have any other questions. And if Stacy, if you don't have any others, I guess seeing none, I guess we need to call this to question or for looking for a motion to approve the amendment to this particular agreement.
I think that sounds good. Motion to approve the project amendment for First Indiana headquarters.
Okay, good. So have that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, so it looks like the motion has carried. So we have approved that particular an amendment. So are there other items of new business then, Megan?
No.
Okay. Is there any old business that we need to address?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
May I ask just a general question, Megan? Are there any other projects in the city that have been delayed by COVID other than the one we just discussed?
No, everything else has really been moving forward and moving quickly. So the construction industry in general hasn't stopped much. So the First Internet Bank, it's really a slight delay. And again, it was more so as a result of the hotel project being delayed. So, and plus I had even just heard recently from another company saying that they were interested in a hotel in Fishers in a separate location. So it seems like maybe even the tourism industry is starting to bounce back and get optimistic. So nothing else, though, has been postponed or significantly delayed at the city, fortunately.
Yeah. Do you have any anecdotal evidence on how the yard has weathered the COVID storm, if you will?
Yeah, they've been incredibly successful. So now I think all of the state restrictions are released except for tables having to be 6 feet apart. But I mean, from my own anecdotal story, having been there on a Friday night, you can't walk into some place without a reservation. So it is packed. So I think people are, especially this summer now, like the amenity is there. You really weren't able to feel like you could enjoy it last year. So I think that they've been successful. A couple of additional restaurants and retailers have opened up in the last few months. So I think it's booming, which is great news for us.
Perfect. Okay. Well, that's good to know. And again, I'm asking the question only because it's an economic impact, so that's why I bring it up. But the other element of it is, just was curious to know how they had been faring.
Sure.
It's been a crazy time, that's for sure.
Yes, that is for sure.
Definitely.
Casey, is there anything else on your mind? I mean, this is your first meeting.
I know. I wish it was in person for sure, but no, I don't think I've been following along and where we've been at for the last year, and just looking forward to days when we can get together, and appreciate being kept in the loop and brought up to speed for sure.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yes, and I prefer in-person meetings as well. So kind of frustrating. It's probably more of the extrovert in me that's just sort of missing this a little bit. But hopefully once we get everybody vaccinated and life, we may be feeling a lot more comfortable about having some meetings in person and kind of going forward from there. So,
Yes.
All right, folks. Well, if that's it, I guess with no other old business to discuss, and we don't really, we sort of meet on an as-needed basis, Stacy, so there really isn't a timeline for the next meeting. Is that correct, Megan?
That's correct.
Okay, so I guess we will, with that, I guess we can move to adjourn. Megan, do you feel like you have all the information you need for your meeting?
Yep, we're all good.
Oh,
Wonderful.
okay, great. Well, listen, thanks everybody for your attention, and we will get together again soon, hopefully, to kind of look at keeping the progress moving in the city. So thanks again for everybody's help. And Stacey, it was nice to meet you via phone.
Absolutely. It's nice to meet you as well. It's good to see you all.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.